were born into a miracle. Electric light, antibiotics, the internet. Never in history has life been safer, longer, or more connected. But what if I told you that you were born in the worst time to be human? Not because of disease, not because of war, but because you are drowning in comfort and starving for meaning. Because when everything is possible, nothing feels real. You wake up, scroll, consume, compare, repeat. You are more watched, more marketed to, more measured than any human before you. But somehow, you feel invisible. This is not progress. This is anesthesia.
In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram conducted a now infamous experiment. Participants were told to deliver electric shocks to a stranger. Most obeyed, even when the shocks were lethal. Why? Because someone in a lab coat told them to. You like to think you're different, that you make your own choices, but your choices have been pre-selected by algorithms, by corporate interests, by inherited trauma. You live in a world that fetishizes freedom, yet most of your life is dictated by invisible systems, credit scores, terms of service, performance metrics. You don't follow orders in a lab. You follow the dopamine trail, notifications, likes, autoplay. No one forces your hand. You volunteer your soul. In the 1970s, the Stanford prison experiment revealed how easily ordinary people became monsters. Given roles, guards became cruel, prisoners, submissive. All it took was a costume. Today, your costume is digital, a profile, a brand. You curate, edit, filter. Your real face is hidden behind the mask of you. You must always be productive, always be improving, always be seen. You have become your own warden, watching yourself, judging yourself, punishing yourself. Sartre once said, "Hell is other people, but in this age, hell is yourself." Nietzsche warned, God is dead, not as a celebration, but as a diagnosis. When gods die, values decay, meaning collapses. Once you lived in tight tribes, families, faiths, stories that gave you purpose. Now, you live among strangers, you work for symbols, you believe in nothing except more. More data, more likes, more growth, but no direction. Your job might be automated, your art mimicked by AI, even your thoughts fed back to you in an echo of personalization. You're told this is liberation, but deep down, you feel it. You've become a ghost inside the machine. Humans evolved to read faces, to feel warmth through touch, to hear pain in a voice. Now your conversations are typed, your friendships filtered, your love swiped. You have more connections than ever, but less connection. Loneliness is now a global epidemic. In 2023, the US Surgeon General called it a public health crisis. Studies show chronic loneliness is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. You were not made to live through glass, but here you are, flickering in 4K. In George Orwell's 1984, Big Brother watched from screens. But he underestimated us. We willingly built the cage and then sold our data to decorate it. You are tracked, nudged, predicted. Every click, every pause, your fears and desires harvested for profit. And when tragedy strikes, another war, another mass shooting, you watch it unfold in real time, helpless, yet addicted. You no longer experience horror as a rupture, but as background noise. When everything is content, nothing is sacred. Social media promised you a voice. What it gave you was a stage. You became both actor and audience, your worth measured in metrics, your pain packaged for engagement. Arendt warned us that the banality of evil wasn't the villains, it was the ordinary people who just went along. But what about the banality of suffering? You suffer quietly, behind smiles, behind captions. You cry in silence, then refresh to see if someone noticed. You are not ignored. You are monetized. You were born into a world that seems stable, but underneath it, cracks are forming. Climate collapse, AI unemployment, digital misinformation, political extremism, mental health freefall. You were told you could be anything, but But the world you inherited is burning, and the institutions meant to protect you, failing, too slow, too compromised. You're not Atlas, holding up the world. You're Icarus, flying too close to a digital sun, while your wings melt silently behind you. We measure progress in speed, faster tech, faster delivery, faster lives.
But faster to what?
We confuse growth with good, convenience with wisdom, noise with meaning. Progress gave us antibiotics and microplastics in unborn children. It gave us smartphones and shrinking attention spans. It gave us globalization and the disintegration of culture. You live longer, but are you living better? You were promised utopia. But maybe this is just a more sophisticated cage. So, is this really the worst time in history to be born? Not because you are starving, but because you are numb. Not because of tyrants, but because of indifference. Not because death is everywhere, but because meaning is nowhere. You were born in the age of everything, Uzamra, but feel like nothing. You are not at war with others, you are at war with yourself. You are the prisoner, the guard, and the architect of your own invisible self. But here's the twist. Maybe the worst time to be human is also the most important, because when the old gods die, new stories must be written. When silence spreads, even a whisper matters. When the world forgets how to feel, a single act of presence becomes radical. You were not born to scroll through life. You were not born to be optimized. You were born to witness, to ache, to care. Even if the world burns, even if no one notices, because meaning does not shout. It does not sell. Meaning whispers. And right now, it is whispering to you.